things. So I will not go into that details now, but Ajicare mainly delivers into elder care or geriatric care services. Okay. Today, what I'm going to share, again, as I said, I'm not an medical expert. Whatever I'm going to speak is through my experiences, right? Whatever I have been working with elderly for last 10 years while providing various services. So I'm going to share whatever I'm going to share is through the experiences. So I have divided into two parts. First part, I will share my 6 points which will help elderly to live better. And second part, I will talk about various options that are available to senior citizens nowadays in India. What are the options that are available to us? So first, I will talk about 6 points that I have thought through, which I have learned through experiences, which will help you live better while you are aging. So first point that I have seen which helps people is I'm not sure कि आप लोगों में से कितने लोगों ने पॉली फार्मेसी के बारे में सुना है, राइट? आई थिंक डॉक्टर ने शायद कभी आपसे बात किया रहेगा. पॉली फार्मेसी यानी इट इज इम्पोर्टेंट दैट एज अ सीनियर सिटीजन आप जब एजिंग चालू होता है तो वी आर फेसिंग डिफरेंट मेडिकल इश्यूज एंड वी आर टेकिंग डिफरेंट मेडिकेशंस suggested by different doctors. तो बहुत बार क्या होता है कि ये मेडिसिन का एक दूसरे के ऊपर इम्पैक्ट होता है एंड इट इज इम्पोर्टेंट टू गेट इट रिव्यूड आइडियली बाय जीरियाट्रिशियन लाइक डॉक्टर प्रेम और एनी अदर एमडी जीरियाट्रिशियन. उनसे आप एक बार रिव्यू कराइए. बहुत बार क्या होता है कि यू गो टू डिफरेंट एक्सपर्ट्स. आप कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट के पास जाओगे, डायबिटोलॉजिस्ट के पास जाओगे, आप न्यूरोलॉजिस्ट के पास जाओगे, राइट? And they prescribe medicines independently, but आपका overview कोई नहीं देख रहा है. I will give an example of my dad. So my dad has got at least 6 to 7 medicines which are going on. Okay, and he had a migraine issue. So he was suggested to take migraine for 2 months, but he was continuing to take that for another 1 month. And when I reviewed that with the doctor, we realized that he is taking that migraine tablet beyond what he was prescribed for, and there was no need for him to continue. And it has got side impact. आप जो भी मेडिसिन लोगे उसके side impacts होते हैं. So it is important that you review your medicines on a periodic basis, quarterly, 6 monthly. As an ideal person, ideally it should be reviewed by geriatrician, otherwise any family physician. So उससे ये पॉलीफार्मेसी का इशू नहीं होगा, राइट? बहुत बार लोग एक बार चालू किया तो वो कंटिन्यू दवाई चालू ही रहता है. वी डोंट नो व्हाई दे आर टेकिंग, और कभी तो उसने प्रिस्क्राइब किया है तो वो चल रहा है, राइट? नोबडी रिव्यूज दैट, तो वो स्टॉप करो. आई हैव सीन दैट माय डैड, माय मॉम डूइंग दैट. आई ऑलवेज टॉक टू देम कि इट नीड्स टू बी रिव्यूड एंड कंफर्म बाय डॉक्टर. Without that, continue. That is the first thing I will suggest to everyone, that periodically please review your medicines through your family physician. Second thing that I will talk about is again a very very important topic जो बहुत कम बात किया जाता है, is there is a talk about writing your will, right? कि आपकी जी प्रॉपर्टी है, बैंक अकाउंट है, इंश्योरेंस है. I think people talk about the will for that, but people what do they don't tell you is you also need to think about who will take a decision when you are in a state where you can't think for yourself, right? आपकी वो डिसीजन कौन लेगा? If you are in ICU, who is the person who is responsible to take decision on behalf of you, right? You need to write that somewhere. I think there are documents for that, and you also have to write down if there is a condition, do you want to go on a ventilator? Do you want to live on a supportive system? That needs to be written somewhere. So family can, बहुत बार क्या होता है, family confused होती है. If you have written that on somewhere on paper, the decision making is very easy for your family to take calls. Otherwise, people are on ventilator for days and months. Okay, when elderly actually do not want to do that, but वो decision कैसे ले? Because they are not in a state. If you have written that decision, then it becomes easy for your family to deal with it, right? So I think you will have to think, when I am in a hospital for any reason, and when I'm not in a state to take my own decision, who is the person who I can depend and can ask him to take a decision and discuss with that person what I want, right? What is your will? And that needs to be written somewhere on paper that your family can refer to. I think that is very important. Again, we have seen, I will not take a name. I have one of our very close doctor. Both the doctors are daughters are doctors. They were confused when their father was, in ICU. They couldn't take a decision, but then they remembered that their father has written a will, how to deal with it, and that helped them. Right. So I will strongly suggest you that, along with your will for whatever property or that you have, think for this. When you are not medically well, who will take that decision? And this is very, very important for your family members and for yourself also. It is very critical. um, the thing that I'm going to share, um, is that somewhere that you have to prepare an acceptance of your mind that you are going to need help you. A lot of time people are living independently. They don't like to take help from others, because their whole life they have been living independently. तो वो चाहते नहीं कि किसी को मुझे हेल्प लेना पड़े. But I think there will be a time when you are going to need a help, whether it is physically, medically. It is important that your mind is prepared for that. And I have seen, and my fourth point is linked to that. When you have to work with others who are going to help you to live better, it is important that you are kind to them. I have seen elderly, uh, don't take it offendedly, but I have seen people who are rigid, becomes rigid over a time, or they become very irritable when dealing with others. Uh, if you want to get best out of others who are going to actually coming there to help you, whether it is your nurse, whether it is your physiotherapist, whether it is the cook who is going to come at your place, anyone who is coming there to help you live your day-to-day life, if you are kind to them, if you are accepting them as it is, I think they will do best for you, right? But a lot of time people behave very indifferently, and then they make their life very difficult. um, so I think it is important. And the another thing from acceptance perspective that I will say that is that you will always find the thought process that the people who are going to serve you will be very different. Don't discriminate them based on the caste. Don't discriminate them based on the color. Don't discriminate them based on what spirituality they follow or what kind of food they eat. I think the time has changed. I think you will need to start accepting that, because that becomes easier for to deal with them. Some of these people are going to work with you closely. So I think it is important that you accept them, that you are going to need a help somewhere down the line. When that time comes, be open to receive that help that will be offered to you, and be kind and acceptance to the people who are going to work with you, so that they can give their best for your betterment. The fifth point that I will share from my experience is that we have seen some of the statistics which tells that 20% of elderly, that is one out of five elders, require some kind of are facing mental health issues, right? That can be related to loneliness, depression, anxiety, Alzheimer, dementia. There can be many other aspects, and people hesitate to go to a psychiatrist or psychologist, right? uh, I think they shy away to share those things, and within family also they don't disclose it. So I think it is important that whenever we feel that I am facing those issues, you don't hesitate to take professional help from a psychiatrist or a psychologist, and that you have to observe in your family members also. Like you go to any other doctor, you can go to a psychiatrist or psychologist when there's a need. And then we should not shy away from those issues is something that I have learned. I have experienced that in my family also. My father has gone through that. So I can tell you from my own personal experience. Since I have worked in this place, I could see the problem my dad was facing, and we took him to the psychiatrist. It was not a big problem. It was a starting of anxiety and starting of depression during the pandemic when he was sitting home. He couldn't do anything on his own, and that's the time he started facing those issues. And we took him right time to the psychiatrist, and in 6 months time he came out of it very clean, and now he's very healthy and active at age of 81. So I think we should not hesitate to take help when required in the mental health space. I think nowadays there is no stigma. People still feel कि मुझे कैसे बताऊं that I'm feeling depressed or I'm feeling lonely. I think these are okay. Everybody goes through that. Everybody has problems, whether it is young or old. So it is okay to approach and take required help. I think that is the fifth. And the last point that I will share is being proactive about the safety at your home when you are elderly. I think 50 to 60% of the elderly suffer due to the falls at their own home, right? So it is important that you review your own personal home space periodically on your own or ask experts to do that. But it is important that you are reviewing your home from a safety perspective. There is a possibility of slippage, there is no possibility of shocks. You are thinking in all perspective to avoid any sort of falls in your home, correct? That is, one is to observe that physical at your home, and second is getting reviewed from a physiotherapist. Once you start feeling, there are scores that a physiotherapist can give in terms of the possibility of fall. They can guide you how to build strength, so that falls can be reduced, because most of the hospitalizations जो होती है सीनियर्स में वो fall के related होती है, and that fall typically leads to lot of other complications. So it is important कि आप आपके घर का रिव्यू करें जहां से फॉल्स अवॉइड किए जा सकते हैं. And second thing that I will suggest is, if seniors are staying alone, ऐसी किसी के घर पे भी अगर ऐसी सिचुएशन है जहां पे सीनियर्स अलोन है, तो प्लीज पुट सीसीटीवी इनटू योर मेन एरिया where people are going to work with you, and give access to your family members. If your son or daughter is staying abroad, bahar reh rahe, I think it creates an accountability for people who work with you. अगर आप अकेले रह रहे हो, तो it is important that you put your CCTV. आप भले सारी जगह पे मत लगाओ, but at important places you put CCTV. उससे काफी सारा accountability and pressure आता है on people who are going to work with you. So I'll just quickly run through what 6 things that I have shared which are important for you to look at. First is polypharmacy. आपका medication जो है वो review कराओ doctor से quarterly, 6 monthly. Second thing I have made is medical will. Write down what should be done when you are in a place where you can't take your own decision, and talk to your family about that. Third and fourth thing I spoke about is that you will require some kind of a help while you are aging due to the medical issues or anything, or mobility issues. That time people are going to work with you. Accept them as they are and be kind to them. I think that will help you recover or deal with it in a much better way. Fifth thing that I spoke about was taking help from a psychiatrist. Whenever you feel there's a mental health issues, don't shy away from it. Discussing with the family member or your friends, don't shy away from it. It is like going to any other doctor. We should not be creating any stigma around it. And last thing I spoke about was the safety at home that should be reviewed to avoid falls. I think these are important things for your well-being while you are aging, and these are all based on my experience working with seniors which we serve and my own personal experience.
जस्ट जस्ट सिंगल मिनट.
Yes.
ये हमारा मीटिंग 40 मिनट के बाद में डिस्कनेक्ट होगा. डिस्कनेक्ट होते ही इमीडिएटली सेम लिंक पे आप कनेक्ट कीजिएगा, बिकॉज जस्ट नाउ आई हैव रिसीव्ड दैट नोटिस. सो अगर ये मीटिंग एंड होता है तो यू कनेक्ट ऑन द सेम लिंक अगेन. दिस विल मीटिंग विल स्टार्ट. ओके, सो प्रोसीड.
हिंदी हिंदी सांगायला सांगा ना,
थोडं
समजत नाही.
थोडं हिंदी मध्ये
Okay,
पण.
okay. Now
समजत नाही हो काही.
yes, मी प्रयत्न करीन की मी हिंदी and English मिक्स आहे. Sorry about that. So यहाँ I think ये 6 चीजें मैंने बताई, ये सारे एक्सपीरियंस बेटे. अगेन मैं बिल्कुल कोई एक्सपर्ट नहीं हूँ, ये सारे एक्सपीरियंस के थ्रू आई चीजों जो है वो मैंने आपके साथ शेयर की है. द सेकंड पार्ट दैट आई एम गोइंग टू स्पीक टुडे, जो मुझे बताया गया था कि आज के डेट में सीनियर्स के पास इन देयर रिटायरमेंट व्हाट आर द ऑप्शंस, आपके पास क्या ऑप्शन है स्टे के. सो पहले क्या होता था, पहले के जमाने में 2 या 3 ही ऑप्शन होते थे. अगर सीनियर सिटीजन हो आप, either you can stay at your home till you are independent and do, you know, when we had a big family, everybody used to stay there. There was no other option. Only second option can be hospitalization. When there is a need, you will be hospitalized, again you will come back home. The third thing that was possible was an old age. कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है, पैसे नहीं है, whatever. These are the 3 things that are typically available to any persons previously. आज के डेट में there are newer options which are coming, which are available to you. बाहर के कंट्रीज में ये बहुत सारे ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल है. इंडिया में अभी चालू होना आना चालू हुआ है. गए 5 से 10 साल में अगर आप देखेंगे तो ये नए ऑप्शंस आने चालू हुए हैं हमारे यहाँ पे भी, एंड आई थिंक दे विल कंटिन्यू टू ग्रो. वो ये बढ़ते रहेंगे ऐसे ऑप्शंस आपके लिए. तो आज मैं खाली वो 5 या 6 जो ऑप्शंस है नए वो आपके साथ शेयर करूंगा. फर्स्ट ऑप्शन जो है इसको बोलते हैं इंडिपेंडेंट लिविंग. इसको आप देयर आर 2-3 अदर नेम्स. कोई लोग उसको सीनियर लिविंग बोलते हैं, कोई इंडिपेंडेंट लिविंग बोलते हैं, या कोई उसको रिटायरमेंट होम्स बोलते हैं. राइट, दीज आर द, ये ना रियल एस्टेट में ऐसे ऑप्शंस आने चालू हुए हैं. परांजपे का अर्थश्री पुणे का प्रोजेक्ट, या पुणे में न्यू गगन लाइफ लोनावला में. देयर आर मेनी ऑप्शंस इन बैंगलोर, चेन्नई, करजत साइड, विरार साइड. यहाँ पे आप आपका घर ले सकते हो. राइट, जहाँ पे कम्युनिटी फीलिंग आता है. सारे वहां पे सीनियर सिटीजन रहते हैं. एवरीबडी अबव एज ऑफ 55 ओनली स्टेइंग देयर. राइट, तो सारे सीनियर सिटीजन वहां पे रहते हैं. आप आपका वहां पे एक फ्लैट लेके रह सकते हो. वहां पे फैसिलिटी ये रहता है कि आपके लिए डाइनिंग यानी हाउसकीपिंग वो फैसिलिटी वाले देखते हैं. आपका कुकिंग वहां पे टेकन केयर होता है, और आपको कम्यूट के लिए एक बस सर्विस अवेलेबल रहती है. ठीक है, सो यू आर इंडिपेंडेंट बट दीज 3 सर्विसेज आर टेकन केयर. कुकिंग, हाउसकीपिंग एंड योर ट्रांसपोर्टेशन इज टेकन केयर. इसलिए इसको बोलते हैं इंडिपेंडेंट लिविंग, सीनियर लिविंग या कम्युनिटी लिविंग. राइट, या रिटायरमेंट कम्युनिटी. सो दिस इज अ न्यू ऑप्शन दैट हैज स्टार्टेड टू कम. आई हैव सीन काफी सारे सीनियर सिटीजन्स टेकिंग दैट ऑप्शन, बट बहुत बार लोगों को ये पता ही नहीं रहता कि ऐसे ऑप्शंस है. टुडे आल्सो देयर आर लॉट ऑफ सच ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल इन नियरबाय टू मुंबई पुणे. इफ आई एम गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट दिस, मुंबई पुणे के अराउंड में ऐसे काफी सारे ऑप्शंस आज के डेट में अवेलेबल है इन सीनियर लिविंग, रिटायरमेंट कम्युनिटी या इंडिपेंडेंट लिविंग. आप इसमें गूगल करोगे आपको बहुत सारे ऑप्शंस इसमें मिल सकते हैं, एंड दे आर नॉट वेरी कॉस्टली. आई विल नॉट से ये बहुत चीप ऑप्शंस है, बट बहुत एक्सपेंसिव भी नहीं है, एंड दे आर गुड डिजाइन. तो आप उसके बारे में सोच सकते हो. दूसरा जो रहता है जो अभी अभी चालू हुआ है, अगेन बहुत ऑप्शंस नहीं है, बहुत थोड़े अमाउंट में चालू है, डे केयर सेंटर्स फॉर सीनियर्स, जहां पे सीनियर्स जाके 4 घंटा, 6 घंटा, 8 घंटा रह सकते हैं. राइट, अगेन ये इट्स अ गुड ऑप्शन जहां पे किसी को असिस्टेंस चाहिए. दिस इज अ गुड बैलेंस बिटवीन आप फैमिली के साथ रह भी रहे हो बट कुछ हद तक उसमें आप उसमें से ब्रेक भी ले रहे हो ऑन अ डे टू डे बेसिस, जिसको डे केयर सेंटर बोलते हैं. ये काफी सारे सीनियर जिसको अल्जाइमर डिमेंशिया हो अर्ली स्टेज वाला, या जिनको कंटिन्यूअस सपोर्ट की जरूरत है, वेदर इट इज पार्किंसन, ऐसे लोगों के लिए काफी मदद वाला साबित हो सकता है. मुंबई में पैंडेमिक के पहले ऐसे 4-5 ऑप्शन होते थे डे केयर सेंटर के. अभी पैंडेमिक में काफी सारे वो बंद हो गए. आज की डेट में मे बी 2-3 ही चालू है, बट ये ऑप्शंस फ्यूचर में आएंगे. बट दिस ऑप्शन जैसे छोटे बच्चों के लिए डे केयर सेंटर होता है, वैसे एल्डर्स के लिए भी आजकल चालू हुआ है. सो दैट्स अ सेकंड ऑप्शन. थर्ड ऑप्शन आई विल से इज अ रेस्पाइट सर्विस. रेस्पाइट सर्विस यानी क्या कि शॉर्ट टर्म सर्विस, जो जब भी देयर इज अ सीनियर हु रिक्वायर्स असिस्टेंट, जिनको असिस्टेंस के बिना अकेले नहीं रह सकते हैं. सो जैसे समझो हस्बैंड वाइफ है एंड हस्बैंड को कुछ हुआ है या वाइफ को कुछ हुआ है जहां पे उनको अकेला नहीं छोड़ा जा सकता है, बट आपको 8-10 दिन के लिए बाहर जाना है और आप उनको लेके नहीं जा सकते, तो उनको 8-10 दिन के लिए और कहीं सेंटर पे रखना जहां पे उनकी देखभाल हो सकती है 8 से 10 दिन के लिए या 15 दिन के लिए, उसको बोलते हैं रेस्पाइट केयर. या बहुत बार ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि इनको देखते देखते दूसरा पार्टनर थक जाता है, एग्जॉस्ट हो जाता है पूरी तरह से, और उनका हेल्थ इंपैक्ट होना चालू होता है. तो ऐसे सिचुएशन में भी आप 8-10 दिन 15 दिन का ब्रेक के लिए उनको कोई अलग जगह पे रख सकते हो, उसको बोलते हैं रेस्पाइट केयर. तो जो भी लॉन्ग टर्म केयर सेंटर्स है या मैंने जो सीनियर लिविंग बोला वहां पे ये ऑप्शन अवेलेबल रहता है जहां पे आप शॉर्ट टर्म के लिए आप किसी को रख सकते हो. नेक्स्ट सर्विस जो मैं बोलूंगा केयर एट होम सर्विस, जो आजकल बहुत चालू हो गया है. सो व्हेन यू हैव अ पेशेंट एट होम, आजकल आज की डेट में एवरीथिंग इज अवेलेबल एट होम, वेदर इट इज नर्स, डॉक्टर हो, फिजियोथेरेपी हो, इवन आईसीयू सेटअप इज नाउ पॉसिबल एट होम, राइट. ऐसे बहुत सारे कंपनीज है, एटलीस्ट 3 to 4 कंपनी जो पूरा आईसीयू सेटअप एट होम कर सकते हैं. So you don't need to go. So at your, if you have a house which is decent enough, आप घर पे सारी की सारी सर्विसेज फैसिलिटीज आज के डेट में ले सकते हो. So I think that has changed completely. And during the pandemic, I think that is one of the benefit कि आज के डेट में most of the medical services, बड़े से बड़ा एमडी डॉक्टर आज के डेट में आपके पास अवेलेबल है ओवर द फोन. So I think one of the biggest advantage आपके आज के डेट में वो है कि all the services have started becoming easily available at home. The only challenge is कि अगर आपके पास सपोर्ट थोड़ा चाहिए, फैमिली मेंबर अगर बिल्कुल नहीं है घर पे, तो then it's a difficult situation. But अगर है सपोर्ट तो you can take all these services at home. The next option is assisted living. People who requires assistance for day-to-day living, but doesn't require advanced nursing care. Correct? उनको assisted. It is similar to senior living, but senior living में these people are independent, right? They can do things on their own. खुद का काम खुद कर सकते हैं. बट ऐसे सिचुएशन रहते हैं जहाँ पे पर्सन आपका खुद का काम पूरे के पूरी तरह से नहीं कर सकता, मोबिलिटी इश्यूज है, खुद से चल के जा नहीं सकते, सपोर्ट के बिना जा नहीं सकते. तो ऐसे लोगों के यहाँ पे आपके पास राउंड द क्लॉक हेल्प अवेलेबल होती है. ठीक है, वेदर वो केयर